we know this bringing of love to the emotional plane is the big shift. And it's what a lot of work that we do in ISTA and other places is like, get the emotional body reset with love. Allow it to express all of the parts that are not loved, and then refill it, rewire it, re-neurologize it with love. But because we're in a global process, we don't really have time for everyone to come to a workshop. It's going to happen globally through the great dramas of civilization. And whether that looks like, a war, or it looks like breakouts of like Occupy movement, or the resistance to extinction, or all of those things are going to become a global breaking out of the energies that are stored in the emotional body of humanity. And so for those who have done some clearing and are able to understand not just in their consciousness that everything is love, but to demonstrate it in their emotions, in their feelings, then we have a part to play globally. And that is to give some kind of visibility to the fact that love is in the emotions. Okay, to be passionate, to be revealed. Because what happens is when people don't feel that, when they don't feel love from their politicians, and they don't feel love from their bank manager, and they don't feel love from society, they just want to toss the whole thing. And all over the world, underneath civilization, is an emerging civilization of love. It's emerging. There's millions of people who you would now say are actually the world soul in incarnation. But they're not visible. They're not at the top of the pyramids. They're not up there where people can see them. They're like attending to their own little patch, their own little piece. They've started an organic farm somewhere in Iowa, or they're like, are writing music, or they've just decided, okay, I'm going to be love, but I'll be love, and I will be ostracized from mainstream society, and I will just be love somewhere. And then they often think, well, I don't really matter, and I don't really care about that. I'm just going to create this thing in my own world. But the thing is, we all go down together. Like humanity and the environment and everything, it all is all linked. And now is the time for all of those seeds that have been scattered all over the world to find each other and reveal themselves as the new civilization, that it's already here. It's just not visible. We just don't see it. So, and there can be two things that stop that. One is a sense of, I don't matter. So in other words, I've failed at the current paradigm that seems to be what it is, and I've failed because my love has not been able, I haven't been able to win at the rat race world or whatever, so therefore I've created my own life, but I've really failed at that other thing. I failed my Harvard education or whatever. So there's kind of a self-esteem because the world doesn't value soul, and so our soul has a kind of veil to it that says, yeah, I've done this for me and I hope other people want it, but it's not wanted in the world. You've got to crack that now. You've got to crack the self-esteem issue around having put your feather on the side of soul rather than body-mind. You've got to realize now the world is hungry for soul. And so it needs leaders. The leaders of the coming civilization are those who have anchored soul, not those who have become successful. And every time I hear a soulful group start talking about, we know a politician or we know a top businessman or whatever, let's get them involved because if we change them, we change the world, my heart fucking breaks. Like, that's not the way. Because that just gives more power back to this. You're basically saying underneath, those in power are the ones with influence. I'm not. But if I can influence them, then I can influence everyone. It's a fucking lie. And it's an escape. It's an escape at taking the responsibility you have as love for standing up yourself and not believing that your power comes from the system that has produced those at the top with the least soul to run things. So trying to change them is just making your life a wasted gift to the same thing that's a problem. Which is not to say don't love them if they come to you, but don't go to them trying to influence them to influence the world, because they're fucking experts at that. They have people coming to them all the time for something. Now you're coming to them for something else. It's like, I'm lobbying you because you're a person of influence that you can change the world according to how my heart feels it should be. You're just going to feed into the beast. So that first piece is get over the self-esteem issue of not mattering because you've chosen soul. And realize the world fucking needs soul now. And it needs it to be visible. It needs it to stand up for what it is, passionately, and own it.